Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. It's 6 o'clock, Thursday, May the 14th, 2020. This is the Tucumcari City Commission meeting. We'll have the invocation by roll call. Sorry.
Mayor Litchfield,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Here.
Commissioner Moya,
Here.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Here.
Commissioner Arias.
Here.
Our invocation tonight will be given by Commissioner Arias. I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, I got roll call early. Sorry.
We can roll call again. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of life, friendships, and families. Heavenly Father, we ask for your blessing and your guidance tonight as we come together to do the city's business. We pray for your healing hand upon our city, upon our state, and upon our world. For the sake of the sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and on the whole world. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry, Angelica, we've already done roll call. So next on the agenda is consideration of changes or deletions to the agenda.
Yes, ma'am, I'd ask that we remove item 10A and 10B. That is the approval of the trilateral memorandum of understanding between New Mexico Main Street, Tucumcari Main Street, and City of Tucumcari. That wasn't ready as of tonight. And also the consideration to approve the agreement with Plateau Telecommunications. The reason we're removing that is I'd like to go out for a formal RFP process to do that. So we'll be looking out for that in the future.
So A and D.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With those two considerations, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended. I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes. Next on the agenda is public comments. I have a public comment from Connie Loveland from Main Street. She wanted me to read this tonight, and it's very important. It's a grant opportunity. Tucumcari Main Street will be awarding up to 9 $500 grants to small businesses located within the Tucumcari Main Street district who have been negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Applications will be accepted through May 18th, 2020 at 5 p.m. This grant program is made possible by a grant from the New Mexico Resilience Alliance in partnership with New Mexico Main Street and the McCune Foundation. Additional funds provided by Citizens Bank, F&B, a division of AIM Bank, and Tucumcari Federal Savings and Loan Association. The simple one-page application can be found here. Please email the completed application to Connie@tucumcarimainstreet.org. Call the office at 575-461-3701 with any questions. And to go to that, you go to www.tucumcarimainstreet.org resources. And so that's a really good opportunity. It doesn't sound like much, but I think it would be helpful to any of these small businesses, $500. Okay. Are there any other public comments? Do we have anyone calling in?
No, ma'am, there's nobody calling in.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is approved by a single motion. Any member of the commission may request an item be transferred to the regular agenda from the consent without discussion or vote. The items to be on the consent agenda are approval of an April 23rd, 2020 special work session, approval of notes, approval of April 23rd, 2020 commission meeting minutes, approval of April 30th public hearing, 2020. I will entertain a motion. Is there anyone that wants to discuss any of these? They may. If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent
I'll
agenda.
make a motion that we approve the consent agenda. I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Next is, under ordinances and resolution, resolution 2020-20, participation in the programs of the Eastern Plains Council of Governments for the fiscal year 2021.
I will present that. And so this is an annual resolution. In this resolution, the commission needs to appoint the designated representative and alternate, and the amount for the membership is $1,878, which is due by July 30th.
Does anyone have any questions? We've been a member of the EPCOG for quite a while. It's usually the mayor and the city manager are the designated representatives that go to their meetings and closes. So, if there's anyone wants to volunteer. I don't hear anybody.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 2020, participation in the programs of the EPCOG for fiscal year 2021.
We also need to appoint.
Oh, okay.
Repeat the thing.
I'll make it, so we can do it as a motion.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we continue on with the, Madam Mayor and the city manager, or in this case, the interim city manager, as the appointee and the alternate.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call please. And it may not always be Madam Mayor, who knows? It could be something else.
Well, whoever it is, we'll still call him Madam Mayor.
Okay. All right, roll call please.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is bids and contracts. Consideration to approve the extension contract with M&M Golf for the golf course services.
It has you on, it's either or, it doesn't matter. I'll present it if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
So, with the change of leadership and the change on wanting to adjust things to fit, the needs of the city, make things a little bit easier to budget for on a fiscal budget instead of starting in the middle where it's at now. It expired. It expires May 8th. I know it was past the deadline. So what I'd like to do, and I've talked with our finance director as well, it makes it easier for us, like I said, to go budget for this on a fiscal budget. So what this is, it's a current extension of their existing contract to get us through June 30th. That way we can start fresh. We'd go out for RFP for services for running the golf course. I feel there's some things that we need to address and possibly change some of the verbiage and look at that closely with the contract moving forward. Therefore, we'll go out for RFP. With that being said, what we did is we took the cost of the contract throughout an annual year, one full 12-month calendar year, and we divided that up per month to get a total of what we pay out to get us through June 30th. And that amount is $11,697. I think they've been doing a great job. The golf course looks good from what I've been told. I haven't been able to make it out there yet. Been too busy working, but they're doing a good job out there, and I'd like to extend this, like I said, just to get us to the end of the fiscal year. And before that expires, before we get to June 30th, I'd like to go out for RFP to go out for professional services again to run this course.
Any questions or concerns? I know there were a lot of happy people last week when it reopened. So.
We're still running the golf course in the city?
So it's the city property, and what happens, the contract that we've had for quite some time is we look for a vendor, concessionaire, a contractor to run it. So what they do, they're responsible for the maintenance, maintaining the greens. They're responsible for mowing the fairways. They're responsible for running their own little pro shop. The only thing that we're tied to is some of the materials that they provide. For example, they sand the greens. The city pays for that. And that's what I'd like to address moving forward. I think it's cleaner if the money that we have in the maintenance budget, we move it over to the contract and we're able to offer more, but it's their sole responsibility that we say, here's a property, we provide the property, now you provide the full service as a package. So to answer your question, we own the property and the facilities, but they're responsible for the upkeep and the maintenance.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make, I'll make a motion that we approve the extension contract with M&M Golf for golf course services.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Yes.
Commissioner Gamble?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, next is consideration to approve the extension contract with Park Hill Smith, Cooper for landfill services.
So this is the same situation as the previous contract. It was established in 2016. The original contract stated it's good for 4 years. However, each year annually, we go back out through the contractor, the engineer for the service, and get an updated price because things go up, hourly rates and whatnot. It's still the same thing. It's for testing at the old landfill as well as the new landfill. Again, for ease of tracking and budget purposes, I'd like to start this on a fiscal contract starting July 1. And it's the same situation since this is the year that their contract is expiring. Again, we need to go out for RFP to be within procurement. And this is the amount needed. It's $10,000 for the old landfill and $10,800 for the old landfill, $16,600 for the new landfill. And that's the environmental testing required. It happens at the last quarter of each year, which is typically now May, June. They come out to the site, they do the sampling. It's something that we cannot do internally. We have to contract it out. And in return, all the paperwork associated with this, they file it and send it to NMED on our behalf. And like I said, it's come to the end. This one actually hasn't expired yet. It expires May 19th, so we're gonna beat that one. And at this time, I'd stand for any questions.
How many more contracts are you looking to extend to get us through? Is this gonna be it?
There's one more, and it's on the agenda. It's the professional services for Main Street. Like I said, it's just to get it on a fiscal calendar year for budget. And this is common practice. I reached out to the engineer and I reached out to other entities. They said this isn't unusual. This is common because municipalities, state governments, other types of government, they prefer to work on that fiscal calendar. Whereas maybe someone in the private industry may work on a calendar year, January to December.
How much, is this gonna affect our budget, the main part of our budget?
No, because this is already budgeted out. This is something that we were gonna pay anyhow at the last quarter. It's just typically we would have brought this before you, maybe the last meeting, but since I was waiting for this to get drafted and to move it for RFP, we couldn't rush the RFP. That's why it's becoming before you tonight.
I'll make a motion, we approve the extension contract with Park Hill Smith and Cooper for the landfill services.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Yeah.
Commissioner Gamble?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is executive session. We're going to, I need a motion to convene into executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act 1-15-1H7, meeting subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to a threatened or pending litigation in which the public body is or may become a participant.
I'll make a motion that we convene into executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act 115-1H7, meeting subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation which the public body is or may become a participant.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Yes.
Commissioner Gamble?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes. Right, turn your
Mark,
speakers off.
Mark, A-N?
You could stay or on, if not, we'll have to create a new video.
Okay.
Okay,
Just a second for me to get the other one.
all right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to reconvene from executive session, noting that nothing was discussed other than 10-15-1H7 meeting subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in which the public body is or may become a participant.
I'd like to make a motion to reconvene from executive session, noting that nothing was discussed other than 10-15-1H7 meeting subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in which the public body is or may become a participant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Moya?
Yeah.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yeah.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is new business. Let's see, we skipped consideration to approve the audit contract with Axiom for fiscal year 21. Rochelle will be presenting that.
Good evening. So this is the contract for the audit for financials for, they'll be auditing fiscal year 20. And it's in the amount of $48,967, which is also budgeted already. Well, will be budgeted in the next fiscal year. If you have any questions, if not, I just.
So is this for fiscal year 20 or 21?
They'll be auditing fiscal year 20. So they'll be auditing what we're doing right now.
Okay, because it says on our notes 21, so.
Well, it is because it's in
Yeah,
fiscal year 21, but they're gonna audit
okay.
a year back.
All right,
But on the audit, you'll
all
have
right, I just wanted to make that clear, so, okay.
20.
Yes,
Madam Mayor?
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have one.
Okay.
Does this include lodger's tax?
it does not. It's a good question because I originally put it on there and the Office of the State Auditor kicked it back and said that the lodger's tax audit is required by DFA and not them. So I had to remove it. So we'll have a separate engagement letter with Axiom to do the lodger's tax audit.
Okay, all right, thank you.
This is their last year, right?
Yes, unless
Yeah, this is their last year.
this will be their third year.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the audit contract with Axiom.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is consideration to approve professional services contract between the city of Tucumcari and Tucumcari Main Street.
Yes, ma'am, I'll be presenting that item. This was an item that was discussed in the work session today. This is similar to the other contracts we talked about, trying to get them on a fiscal calendar year for budget purposes. This does tie in, not this contract, but eventually professional services will go hand in hand with the updated MOU, which will be discussed at the next meeting. Same thing here, we just budgeted, they are on a 45,000 annual contract. So we just divided that up and they would receive 3,750 per month for the month of May and the month of June.
What? What, 3,000?
Yes, sir, $3,750 per month.
And then we'll do the new contract July 1st.
I plan on doing it a little prior to that, but it would go into effect July
Effect July
Yes, sir.
1st, that's what I mean.
Any other questions?
So this is a 60-day type contract?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the professional service contract extension between the city of Tucumcari and Tucumcari Main Street.
I second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is, let's see, consideration to approve the FCRA COVID-19 contract with non-metro area agency on aging. I believe Clara will do that.
You there, Clara?
I am. Good evening. evening, Mayor, Commission, and city staff. So this is some additional federal funding, and it's an FFRA. It's Families First Coronavirus Relief Act, and it's in the amount of $9,202.32. And it is just additional funding to help out. We've had to put our congregate people on home delivered routes. And that, of course, does cost more than when they come to eat at the center. So again, the amount is $9,202.32, and it is just an increase to our budget. And I would answer any questions, otherwise respectfully request your approval. Thank you.
So is this a grant or a loan?
It's a grant, so it's just additional funding. It will not be paid back. And I might add, this is the first allocation that we're getting. In our weekly meetings, they told us yesterday they are preparing another grant award. They didn't give us an amount, but we'll be getting some additional money as well.
Okay. Any other questions?
Comment?
You said yes, you do have some, Commissioner Moyer? Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the FFCRA COVID-19 contract with non-metro area agency on aging.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call please.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Ganova.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
next on the agenda is consideration to approve the recommendation of award for Mountain Road construction change order from the New Mexico Department of Transportation.
Yes, ma'am, I'll present that. So this is a change order in the amount of $18,323.08. This in regards to the Mountain Road project where we're installing new water transmission line as well as services. And there were some things that were overlooked preliminary. And some of the items were some 3-quarter water service assemblies as well as 2-inch water service assemblies. There are some changes in some specifications. This total amount is within our grant allotment, so we're not tapping into any extra funding. And at this time, I ask for your approval of this change order.
Any questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the recommendation of award Mountain Road construction change order.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Ganova.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes, I'm sorry, I was answering for you. Next is recommendation from Lodgers Tax Advisory Board to additional funding to Rockin' on the Route 66 of $3,500 to achieve the total $23,500 request for fiscal year 2019-2020. Is there any discussion?
The Lodgers tax, when they had voted on this, it was when some of the events are starting to get canceled, and it was looking really positive that we might be able to open with an event, and they were concerned about possibly giving a few extra dollars to help Mr. Whitcomb promote, put a little more into promotions to try to make this a bigger event, seeing that we had lost a few events. Since then, the event, as we know, has been canceled. The city has notified Mr. Whitcomb about not spending any more money, and the Lodgers tax understands that we shouldn't move forward with this.
All right, any other discussion? I'd entertain a motion to approve this recommendation from the Lodgers Tax.
I'll go ahead and make a motion.
So just to be clear, you're wanting to approve this? Their recommendation was to give the extra $3,500.
Right.
That's correct.
Yes. And Commissioner Moya made the motion.
Okay,
So now we need a second.
all right, entertain a second. So the motion fails due to a lack of a second. Next on the agenda is the city manager's report.
I will keep it short and sweet. We've
Thank you.
all had a long week and a long meeting tonight. I'd just like to thank all the city employees for the hard work. And The week's almost over. Thank you all.
See you in the morning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is items from commissioners. We'll start with you, Commissioner Arias.
Thank you, Mayor. It has been a long day, but I just had one thing. I know Commissioner Villanueva brought up a couple meetings ago. I'm not sure. I want to see if there's any follow-up on the speeders on Rock Island. Is there any headway in that?
There's not, that's my fault. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I know I've had a citizen that's requested, speed bumps. I understand that those are a little bit hefty, but if we can get some extra patrols there, that would definitely be great just to try to mitigate that. But that's all I really have.
Okay, Commissioner,
Thank you, Mark.
Mayor Pro Tem DePlantis, sorry.
In the way of speed bumps, somebody was requesting, I know we've had these out there before, but I believe it's the truck route on Maple. They're having issues with trucks zooming through there now, and they were wondering if we would consider, I know we'd have to partner up with the county, I guess, because half that road is the county's. But they were concerned and wondering if, there's something we could do to consider putting speed bumps in as part of the city.
You mean on Maple?
Because at Maple, that's the truck route. Yes.
Yeah, well, actually, they had them and they had to take them
I know,
out for some
I
reason.
know.
Because of a lawsuit. A lawsuit, that's right.
Maybe not as big as those, but anyway, I had some citizens that was concerned about that, with the understanding that only half that road is the city's. And
There's a lot to look into. I could look into it, but there's traffic studies and engineering costs associated with those kind of studies. I'm not familiar with the lawsuit that was there, but I not want to replicate that and get into that again. But yeah, we could definitely talk about that.
Anybody sign up for the sign ordinance?
Negative, no sir.
Those out there, we're all going through a pandemic right now. If you don't feel somebody's being safe enough, you don't have to confront them. You don't have to be mean. Nobody knows everybody's situation. Be respectful with everybody. We're all, I hate to say this because we keep hearing this, we're all in this together. We all have different beliefs. That doesn't make us that far different. We're still in Tucumcari, New Mexico, and we're all going to be here when this is done. That's all I got. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Moya.
I have a couple of things I'd like to discuss. The first one I'd like to discuss is, do a follow-up. What's going on with Mr. Ergon, Tony Ergon? So,
I reached out to the district engineer and I've still yet to hear back from him. I got a read receipt that confirmed he received the email, but still nothing at this time.
I would let him know, I'll see if he calls me, I'll let him know that we're still working on it, because we certainly want to address that, because it's our water runoff from the community.
And I could follow up with a phone call or with an additional email.
The other thing I had, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that, was the fire hydrants malfunctioning over here on Rock Island and Maine?
We had, from what I had discussed with our fire chief, one of the hydrants was not working, but they moved down, like I said, in the past to the next hydrant and it worked just fine.
Okay, because some of the citizens that were there complained about it, that's why I wondered. Okay, and this is why, it's important to focus on keeping our hydrants up.
No, I agree with that.
The other thing is, we have bought an $8,000 sound system at the convention center, is it still there?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you inventoried it?
I don't take inventory on that, but I can look into it, but.
I think you need to, just let me know. The other thing is that I would like to bring up is, an ordinance that was passed by us, and that is the ordinance amending the dedication of capital outlay in the municipal location on the tax, on the receipt on the water from the U Lake. And if I'm looking at this budget correctly, we have $9 million in there, is that correct?
In the Ute Lake?
Huh?
In Ute Lake,
U Lake water,
2.4 million,
how much?
2.4.
2.4 in the U Lake water?
Yes.
I thought that was a lot higher.
No, because it was the ordinance or the tax part was repealed, and so we stopped withholding it. I believe that ordinance was repealed, and so the taxes were not being collected anymore.
What's that? The tax were not being collected?
I don't believe that's in effect anymore.
So what it is, back for many years, the tax that was collected that went specifically for Ute Lake. After, it's been sometime within my tenure with the city, I don't know the exact date, but they reallocated those taxes to go towards infrastructure.
That's correct. That's part of the ordinance that we have right here. You have the ordinance, one part of the ordinance, and you have the second part that says municipal infrastructure improvement projects, including but not limited to construction, repair streets, street lighting, construction and repair of water, sewer, line, and treatment system, construction or repair of municipality building structure, construction or repair of sidewalks and pedestrian improvement. So we never appealed this ordinance, did we? This was passed in 2015.
No, sir, so what happens
Where's
is,
the money going?
the previous 2.4 million, we were not allowed to touch it, specifically earmarked for the Ute Lake.
I thought it was 1.5 million for the Ute Lake.
Well, maybe it is, I have to.
1.5.
No, it's 2.4.
The
Was
2.4.
it 2 point? I thought it was 1.5.
It's 2.4. That was on the books before I even became finance director.
Okay,
That was already on there.
okay, I have to see where it's mandated. I know that was mandated, we have to keep that much, I know.
And I know there's been some talk to legislative session that we could possibly reappropriate that and use that for something else. I'm not sure, I have to do some research on that. And then, so the money we receive for that, it still comes in underneath infrastructure, but that's money that we spend occasionally for these projects. When we have overruns on projects, when we have change orders, there are many times like tonight where we are still able to operate with those grant funds, but sometimes if we're required a city match, since it is for infrastructure, we'd use it for, say, a water project or whatnot as a match, correct?
I believe it's about 260,000 a year that we get it from the GRT.
How much?
260,000.
Wait a minute. Well, then how come our budget, let's see what it say, it says Ute water. Okay. I thought it's a lot higher than that, from what I could tell on the budget.
No, that's how much it is. It's 260.
Well, I have requested some more information so that because I'm looking at the budget and I'm having a difficulty trying to put it together in many ways, but I thought there was a lot more in there from this ordinance. I know it's for infrastructure, part of it.
So when I say 260, I'm saying that's how much we project to receive annually every year. That's not how much is in that fund right now.
Okay,
If
how
you're
much is
wanting to
on
know
the
the
fund?
beginning cash, I'd have to go look at that.
We're looking at almost quite a lot.
It's not gonna be 9 million, I can tell you that.
Well, I'm
I
saying,
would say it's probably about 500,000, if that. Because we've used it for projects, like Mark said, we bought that potholing machine, anytime that we have to match a
okay,
grant.
how much does that tax revenue at the end, how much is collected through the year?
260,000 is what
Based
we
on
project
GRT.
to receive every year.
260,000 every year.
Depending on GRT, so if GRT's down, it's less, if GRT's up, it'd be more.
Okay, well, I'd like to get a better
And
understanding.
we've spent also like with the wastewater, for the 10-inch line out to KOA, projects like that, we've spent that money for those types of projects.
Kind of for more emergency infrastructure type
Well, I
projects.
understand that, but since it's, I don't understand how you tie it into the budget, and if it comes in, how we go into the departments or whatever we need it for.
It stays in its own fund.
That's what and you say it's like 65 only in there?
I'm sorry?
How much you say it's in there right now?
I would say it's maybe about 500,000. It could be a little less. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at the numbers. But they do have cash in there, in that fund.
They do have.
Mhm.
Well, I can provide you the rest of the information and look at it, because I've been going on the budget that you guys provided.
Right.
It's interesting. The other thing is, I noticed in the budget you had 4,000 for the Princess Theater. 4,000 something, I can't remember what it was. What does that mean?
Can I see what you're
I
looking
can't
at?
remember, but it's still in there, and I said, oh, that's interesting, when I was looking at it.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember having anything for Princess
I mean,
Theater.
on what you gave me here, unless you've already spent
Is
it.
that the budget or is that what's being
Well,
proposed?
this is the budget report.
So if you'll show me where it is, I can answer, but I
Wow,
don't remember seeing anything on there.
When's that budget report from Commissioner Moore?
yeah.
You gave it to me, so,
Oh, the proposed budget for
yeah,
next year?
it's in here.
Well, that's the proposed budget.
But that's dealing with the numbers that exist at this present. It's a proposal, that means you're dealing with solid numbers.
So that budget that you have in front of you is a summary by fund, so that would mean that Princess Theater would have to have their own fund, which they do not. So I'd have to see what you're looking at to answer that question.
Well, this is the one I requested, because I requested a budget, I requested the city budget so that I can review it and understand it, because we're doing so much difficulty right now with the cutting of the, because we don't have the money, we have some difficulties here. And that's those numbers I'm working with, the ones you provide.
So those numbers are not complete, because as we said,
I
we're
know they're
still
not
working
complete,
on
but
them.
they're part of the draft.
Right.
That if you're gonna put it in a
But
draft.
the one that I
that
changed
means that-
today, or the one I gave you today changes from that one. It's still a work in progress. It hasn't been approved, so it's not a final.
Well, I got it on
Budget.
Monday, so you gave me the wrong budget, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's a working budget.
It
We're
is a
still
working
working
budget,
on
but
it.
the numbers are in here, I understand.
Can the rest of us see it? We've not seen it, I guess.
Well, I asked them, that's all I did.
So Commissioner Moya, you called me last week to see a copy of the budget, and I let you know it's still preliminary, it's a work in progress, it's not the final draft.
I know
But
that,
it's still
I understand
confidential,
that.
it's not to be released because,
I'm not releasing to anybody, I'm just working from it. Because we're looking at cutting here and cutting there, and that's why, that's what I'm doing. And if this is the numbers you give me, then I can't really make an adequate, significant decision when I have to vote on the budget.
and since it was a draft, today would supersede that portion because we have a newer draft that came before y'all today in the work session. But if you wouldn't mind letting Rochelle see it, maybe you could answer that question, if you don't mind.
You gave it to me.
How much did you say it was?
Well, I
4,000.
4,000 and something, I can't remember, I saw it in there when I was reviewing all the budget, you know? Anyway, when I was working on the budget, I wrote so much, I almost forgot how much I wrote in here.
I don't see anything in there.
Well, maybe it's on here, maybe it's on the back part here, hold on a second, this might be the page that fell off. Hold on a second. I saw it in the general budget, I think it was, it said something on the Princess Theater, well, anyway, we'll move on, because I know it's in there, and I'll find it and bring it to you.
Yeah, so once you find it, let me know,
Uh-huh.
and then I can.
It had 4,400 and something in there. And I go like, nobody even said that, and, you know, so anyway. Okay, so we'll go from there, and then you said you're gonna give me, you gave me an updated budget today? And then
But again, it's still a work in progress. It's not
Still a work in
done.
progress.
Right.
But this is the numbers we're gonna use to establish the budget for the next year.
Right, but as we're going through, like, for example, we have to make sure that we have everything that we're talking about right now going forward, that we're budgeting those appropriately. Like, everything carries over and everything affects, it's domino. So we have to, anytime that there's a change, we have to affect other documents. So we can't just say, here it is, until I bring
No,
you
I
the one
understand
for
that part, but
approval.
whenever you look at a department, and this is the questions I was asking you, when you look at a department, you look at their budget, and this is the budget they submitted, so then we have to work with that budget.
Right.
This is the budget where we will do the cutting or whatever we need to do.
Well, once you get the updated or whatever from Mark, maybe it'll explain it better.
We got another work session, don't we?
Yeah.
In the morning. Well,
And I did
at
give
least.
you, some, a form that I need some answers, to. I mean, some, not answers, but things that information for. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out more and more, what's going on, because, this is it will affect people's, livelihood if we have to cut their salary and whatever. And so, this is another avenue that we have to look at, this capital outlay, also in the budget for the problem of those departments that are asking for equipment or infrastructure type, especially because people are constantly complaining about the potholes and everything in our community.
Right.
I have a lot of this stuff, but I'm gonna let it go this time. And I'm gonna look at the numbers that you guys provided me, and then I will be back with them. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Villanueva.
I don't really have much to say. I just wanna see if I can send some prayers to some of the families. Danny Rail lost his wife, and,
Who did?
Danny Rail,
Really?
yes. And, then Mr., the guy that has the ranch on us,
Oh, Barrera?
Mr. Barres' family,
What happened there?
he passed away too.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know.
Juan?
Martin did?
No, Juan,
No, Juan,
Oh, okay.
the sheriff.
and
All right.
that's it for now.
Next is me. The only thing I had is I had a phone call, from a citizen requesting, and I talked to Martha about this, that, the nuisance, ordinance officer, when she leaves gives them a notice or something, would she please put the times on there that the Coronado, tree thing is open, because one man had gotten it and he went, cut all these trees. And, he did go out there that morning and it wasn't open, and so I said I would, if she could put the, hey guys, are y'all through? I'm not.
Go ahead.
Well, I can't with all the rattling of the paper. Thank you. But anyway, she had asked if they could put the times that it was open, so that, and I thought that was a good idea too. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight and listening. Stay safe, and, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. It's the way I feel about it right now on Facebook. So, good night. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So the second?
He's unplugged, you can't hear him.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
I don't know why you do that. You have to be on record.
I'm on, brother.